I don't know who need to hear this here, but I ain't got no sympathy for you, nigga. I ain't got no sympathy for you at all, nigga, cause you done laid on that bump, nigga. You done wore them shackles, nigga. You know how I feel to be wrote off, man. Nigga, hug your motherfucking self, nigga, and get up. Get up, nigga. Don't nobody owe you nothing. The world don't owe you nothing, nigga. If anything, they gonna open that motherfucker and kick you back in that pit of hell, nigga. You better tighten up, my nigga, and realize, my nigga. I don't know who need to hear this.
Street Element Magazine, my paperwork 100, Ronnie Red TV. What's happening?
What's going on, Ronnie?
I'm chilling, man.
Hey, man, you did a lot of time in state prison, man, right?
Yes. State and federal.
State and federal. What are some of the worst things you done seen, violent-wise?
When you go from the state to federal, the federal penitentiaries violence is at a whole nother level when it comes to doing time. Like, I done seen dudes get stabbed in state prison before, but not like the Fed. Not like dudes getting stabbed, eyeballs gouged out, stabbed. I'm talking about you might go in the cell and the whole wall's full with blood and just the level of violence. And when I say federal, I have to keep explaining this, is that people think federal is Martha Stewart or Wesley Snipes. Yeah, maybe at mediums and stuff like that, but when you go into those penitentiaries, those are, like, Google the Big Sanders and the McQuarries and the Pollocks and all that stuff. Go on your phone right now on YouTube and Google these places, and they're very violent. But I done saw some hell of a shit. I done saw so much shit, excuse me, to where I have to turn my head. To where somebody getting, you know what I'm saying, somebody getting the business, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see all the blood. I don't want to see all that stuff. So I just turn my head and, hey, go and let him handle his business and just go on about my business, man. So, yeah, it's definitely bad, man. I'm on one time, listen, bro. I'm one time we sitting up there, right? Yeah, I think one of the most craziest things I've seen in federal prison, I was in a maximum security prison, was that the Mexican Mafia put a hit on all blacks in the system. And what I mean by that is, I think it was 2016, a black, because blacks and Mexicans really, you know, we don't sell together, anything like that. Blacks and whites don't sell, you know what I'm saying, together like that. And it's very, very, very segregated. And a black dude, excuse me, y'all, a black dude did something. I think he stabbed him or either probably killed him to a Mexican. But 3 months later, the Mexican Mafia put a hit on all blacks throughout the system. Like at 4 o'clock count, I think it was a black hand that made that call. But at 4 o'clock count, and all the major pens in the United States of America attacked. So at 4 o'clock count, 2016, dudes is at the email station. They on the phone. They taking showers. But the Mexicans knew what was going on 3 months ago, and they just hit an all-out attack. They end up locking Big Sandy down. They locked Lee County down. They locked McQuarrie down. They locked Pollock down. They locked a lot of pens down behind that, because dudes lost their lives. You got dudes got their arm chopped off, because you had some dudes that had goddamn machetes, man, and they just went crazy. Because you got to think, it was a sneak attack, meaning that we walking around not knowing that they had been plotting for 3 months to attack all blacks. And you got to think is that when the blacks are when the Indians or the Mexicans put a hit on a black, they're not putting a hit on where you from. I don't care if you from Cali, you from DC or Florida. The only thing they putting a hit on is a black man. So I'm saying that to say is that everybody was an easy target on that day. You know, you had a few dudes lost their lives. You had a few Mexicans lost their lives. And the shit get real in there, bro. You know, whenever you live in an environment, bro, well, you have to holler at your homeboy because he got to stand in front of a shower while you take a shower. That shit is serious. Like, you can't walk from the shower to your room with shower shoes on. Your homies is gonna pull you. They're gonna pull you and look here, man, that's like a serious offense. If a dude see you walking from the shower with these on right here, your homeboys is they're gonna pull you up. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna pull you up here. They're gonna tell you that you can't do that. 9 times out of 10, when you see a dude coming from his boxers, he have 3 or 4 things. He got boxers on. He got boots tied up tight. He got a towel over his shoulder and a cosmetic bag and maybe a knife on him. And that's just protocol. My family asks me right now, why do I wake up at 5 o'clock every morning? Because I can just be laying there sleeping. I don't care if I went at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, my eyes are just open. It's because that was protocol in prison, meaning that I'm in all these different states in the federal prison. I'm in these maximum prisons, and that's when a lot of sneak attacks happen. Sneak attacks happen whenever you sleep. Like, dudes are sneaking your unit at 4 or 5. Well, I ain't gonna say 4 because the doors ain't open, but on that first move. And dudes are sneaking your unit. That's how in 2000, I want to say 14 or 15, Florida got in a riot with the Bloods. And that's how they crept in the unit. We was at Coleman. And it was a lot of shit that night. And the next morning, us Florida dudes didn't know that they had been plotting. But when they had that first move at 5:30, they ran in there with knives, and it was a big old riot and everything. But I said that to say, yeah, man.
Where did that start from?
It started from a homie from Florida was in the cell with a Blood. The homie from Florida went to the hole, which is the shoe. They call it the shoe, which is they call it confinement anywhere else. He went to confinement, so quite naturally, this is a Florida cell. It's just being occupied by a Blood homie. And when I say homie, I'm talking about men. So we had another homie. I want y'all to follow this. That got off the bus that needed somewhere to go. So we was like, we're going to put him in the homie cell because the homie is in the shoe. And the Blood homie wouldn't let him in there. So it was some words exchanged, blah, blah, blah. So the dudes from Florida in the unit like, all right, my nigga, if you feel like that right there, y'all can't touch the TV no more in here. Not on no sucker shit, but it was a Florida TV, but Florida and the Bloods, you know what I'm saying? They came together. Now we all look at this TV. It's crazy, man. Dudes
So
got
basically, the homie from Florida was in the cell first.
Yes. That was a Florida cell.
He hit and claimed it as a Florida cell.
Yeah.
He go to the hole. He never get out the hole?
No. It was a Florida cell. The Blood coming there later. He go to the hole and we know he gonna get out. We just trying to put the new homie from Florida in there just for a minute until we can place him. But the Blood wasn't having it. So the Blood was tripping about that. But all the while, this is not the Blood cell.
Yeah, but what do you...
I don't know. It was, I mean, really, it like, I don't know, probably dude got comfortable in there. When dudes been had them one-man cell for a couple of months, they don't want no celly.
I know that feeling when they
know what I'm
talking
saying?
about. Once you done had the cell for a minute, you get comfortable being in that bitch by yourself.
Yeah, it was a Tampa, Florida riot, man, and it was like bad. You had a few dudes that went to the hospital, had a few stabbings, you know what I'm saying? It was real bad. I think that happened in 2012. I was at Coleman. And I'm just saying that to say that it's very, very dangerous, man. Like when I was at Big Sandy in Inez, Kentucky, that's one of the most violent out of the three that's in the United States of America. And I told this story before, it's crazy. Anybody that done been to Big Sandy, they know this story of all night, all you hear is sewing. So the first 3 nights I was there, I asked my little partner out of Alabama, I said, hey man, what is that, bro? He said, oh man, them niggas just sharpening them knives, man, don't worry about it. So that didn't alarm me when he said that. I was like, all right, cool. Then the next night, I stayed at Big Sandy for 2 years straight. And anybody that has been in Inez, Kentucky, to Big Sandy, will tell you that you're gonna hear niggas sawing knife every night. When they assign you to a cell, when you pull back the bunk, it's big pieces of metal like this right here missing out the bunk. To where dudes done made goddamn machetes, to where they done got a it's crazy with a what you call it? With your floss.
Yeah,
dudes cut metal with dental floss. Meaning you got thick metal and you got dudes that got the patience to stay up from 10 o'clock count at night to 6 o'clock in the morning with a dental screen, just sitting up here sawing at this metal so he can get a bone crusher to kill your ass with.
And they do this religiously.
Yeah, so when I got there, which, it like wasn't no stranger to me. So when I got to Big Sandy and I seen all the weapons that was there, and I'm pulling back my bunk and seeing all this metal, and that's what's gonna make you get your mind right. Every cell in that prison has missing steel. Either it's on the bunks or it's in the cabinets. I mean it's on the lockers. So when you move in there and you see that and then you hear that or if you see a motherfucker get punished. And what I mean by punish is you see a dude get stabbed. It ain't nothing like, it's like easy to shoot somebody. There's nothing intimate about shooting nobody. But when you stabbing somebody, bro, and you got a knife in your hand, and you can feel the knife going through the flesh, it's going through the blood. I done seen dudes stab dudes and the knife hit the bone and they just drop the knife. Because they're not used to that feeling. Like I say, you can easily get a gun and step back 3-4 feet and just pull the trigger. But can you sit in a man's chest? And I don't mean to be, I don't mean to be vulgar. I'm just going here, these are strictly prison stories. When you sit in a man's chest and you stabbing him and gouging his eyes out, you stabbing him, I'm talking about 30 and 40 times, that's a different kind of killing. And then you got dudes literally running around prison that's just serial killers. They stabbers. That's what they known for. They done been on, you know what I'm saying? They probably got a body. They done been in ADX. They done been all over the system, and this is what they do.
Right. Basically, they take pride in doing that.
Man, look, I know dudes on the street growing up that was fascinated with guns. Meaning, I had a partner, he'll show you an AK, he'll show you Uzi. That's when Uzis was popular back in the 80s. He'll show you shotguns, and he'll just look at them. Yeah, Tech 9s, he'll just look at them and just be shaking his head. Well, you got dudes in prison that feel like that about their knives. They might have 10 knives lined up, and this one right here, he'll pick it up like, boy, look here, boy, this one right here, this old ugly ass ice pick with some tape wrapped around it. I'm talking about these knives in prison look like murder weapons. I'm gonna say it again. You ever seen an ugly ass gun with some great tape wrapped around the barrel or it's tape around the handle? Well, it's the same about them tools in prison. Dudes take a knife is equivalent in prison to a gun. When niggas in the Fed say, I'm gonna burn your ass up, they talking about they gonna stab the fuck out of you. That's what that means, bro. I can tell people like the reason why dudes, I'm telling dudes about the shower slides, because my cousin asked me about that. The reason why dudes in prison put shower slides on is for germs, because they don't want to put their bare foot on the floor. Because you got to think is that it's 1,500 people here. Ain't nobody walking around barefooted, so they sell shower slides on the commissary or either your homeboys will give them to you and you put them on your, you know what I'm saying, you put them on your feet. Somebody asked me about that, I want to address that.
Yeah, you put them on your feet to take a shower with.
Put them on the feet, take a shower with. And the and the violence, you got to think is that the violence in the Fed is only on one level. The violence in the Fed is not even in the ADX because they locked up 24 hours a day. Well, they locked up 23 hours a day. The mediums ain't no violent like that. You might get a fight every now and then. You might get a stabbing. Definitely not the lows and the camps. It's the United States penitentiaries. And that's why I preach about it, because y'all don't need to take y'all ass there. Stop it. Put it down. Put it down, man. Put that sight down, man. The game over with, man. They gonna tell, because they gonna fly your ass somewhere out in goddamn bumfuck Egypt some goddamn well. You gonna be 1,000 miles away from home. Your people ain't got no money to be getting no hotels. Your people ain't got no money to be catching flights. It's a headache, bro. I was in 8 different states. During my 21 stint in federal prison.
I don't know who need to hear this here, but I ain't got no sympathy for you, nigga. I ain't got no sympathy for you at all, nigga, because you done laid on that bunk, nigga. You done wore them shackles, nigga. You know how I feel to be wrote off, man. Nigga, hug your motherfucking self, nigga, and get up. Get up, nigga. Don't nobody owe you nothing. The world don't owe you nothing, nigga. If anything, they gonna open that motherfucker and kick you back in that pit of hell, nigga. You better tighten up, my nigga, and realize, my nigga. I don't know who need to hear this.